cause we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey, look, don't worry, we gon' be okay. Hey, look, why? Cause we gon' make them pay.
Bam, bam. What's the deal? Oh man, you dark, bro. I can barely see you right now. What's going down?
I'm gonna go get my light. I forgot to get my light. You know, it's nighttime. I forgot.
Yeah. It's been a minute. What's going down, peoples? It's the coach
Same old
here.
shit. Give me 2 seconds to light up.
It's the coach here representing Brothas N Bets, and I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend himself. He is Marley Bets. He went to go get his light. We haven't been in here, but let me just kind of do a little quick recap on how we are in a year. We are about to hit our 100 mark. I apologize, peoples, for not being here last week. I was in Miami during the whole conference play, and as you can see right now, it's the coach Chico. You know, rest in peace to Scott Hall, my favorite wrestler when I was growing up. Believe it or not, a lot of people in the rap industry from the 90s to the 2000s to all the way to now got a lot of swag from not only from Scott Hall, Mr. Razor Ramon, but from a lot of wrestlers growing up. If you know, growing up poor, you know, our grandmamas and them used to watch stuff on the tube. So that's what got us in. But you know, RP Scott Hall, today's show goes out to him.
The wrestler died?
But, yeah.
I did not know that.
He died. He had 3 heart attacks from complications from a hip. He had a hip replacement and he had some complications. He was on life support since yesterday. They took him off life support and his heart was still going, bro. He was fighting through. The bad guy was fighting through. So he did not make it. They announced it about 2 to 3 hours ago that he passed away, man.
I know that.
Yeah, so hands down my favorite wrestler of all time, man. You know what I'm saying? So,
really?
Yeah, the bad guy.
Razor Ramon.
Yes, sir.
With the toothpick. Flick that hole.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, he was in the trenches in my pick. He was in the hood in my pick, chain, the neck full of goals, man. So I'm gonna do this for him, man. But Marley, how'd y'all do? You and Flat Top last week. Y'all held it down while I was in Miami. How'd y'all boys do? I know I got the text messages, and you were like, "Yo, Memo, take the underdogs." It was crazy, man.
Yeah. It's been crazy. It's, you know, March Madness. That's what it's all about. Madness started about 2 weeks ago. It's going to continue this month, more than likely. I expect it to anyway. So I went 2-2 that day with Flat Top. So, you know, 500. With all this madness going on, that's kind of something I kind of expected, honestly. I expected to win.
You want to bring the mic a little bit in front of you, my G? Yeah, get the cigarette. Yeah, you just got to move the mic over. That's all I'm saying.
I needed to adjust myself anyway. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay.
That was good.
Well, man, we got playing games, man. We will kind of go over the tournament, some sleepers, some dark horses later. But as of right now, for the time being, we want to break down some of these games. And let's start with our first playing game. This is actually the college that I went to. Texas Southern University taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. This is the first playing game that's going down at 6:40 Eastern Standard Time at the Dayton Arena. The Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders are 23-11 on the year, 20-10 against the spread, while the Texas Southern University Tigers are 18-12 on the year, 16-13-1 against the spread. Their biggest win and upset for this year for Texas Southern was the win on the road in Florida when they beat the Gators in their house. This line opened up in favor of Texas Southern -3.5. That line hasn't moved, and the over/under opened at 35. Right now, that line's at 136. There are some 136.5s out there as well. There are no injury reports for either squad. Last time we seen A&M Corpus Christi, they beat Southeast Louisiana 73-65 to win their conference championship, while Texas Southern beat Alcorn 87-62 to win their conference. And pretty much they revenged that game because they lost to them early, Alcorn, about less than 3 weeks before they beat them in the championship, 75-72. Let's get to these actual factors for Corpus Christi because I know nobody really much knows or follow this team. If they did, then they had to be either in that city that's not too far away from us, about 2.5-hour drive from Houston. Texas A&M, they are 7-1 against the spread in the last 8 games. The unders hit 5 out of the last 7. They are 7-1 straight up in the last 8 games, 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games this season, 10-1 straight up in the last 11 games when playing against opponent from the SWAC conference, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games in the month of March, the unders hit 7 out of the last 10 games when played on a Tuesday, and the unders hit 10 out of the last 14 games when playing as an underdog. Is it raining, bro? What's that?
Yeah, you hear that? Is it loud?
Yeah, it kind of threw me out. Let me mute real quick so I get through this. My bad. I ain't know it was raining. Crazy ass Houston weather. Anywho, Texas Southern actual factions. The total's gone over 5 out of the last 7 games. They are 7-1 straight up in the last 8 games. 13-2 straight up in the last 15 games this season, 5-2 straight up in the last 7 games against a Southland Conference opponent, 7-1-1 against spread in the last 9 games in the month of March. The under has hit 8 out of the last 8 games on a Tuesday, and the overs hit 5 out of the last 7 games when TSU is playing as a favorite. So, with that being said, Marley, our first playoff game for the Madness, Texas A&M Corpus Christi is taking on my school, TSU, Texas Southern. Marley, what is your play?
Yeah, man. I just like you. I spent a little bit of time on that yard. You know.
Oh yeah, you was there. I wanted to say you was there. I just didn't want to,
Yeah. I spent a little time on that yard. I didn't spend much time in class, but I spent a lot of time on the yard when I was going there. Anyway, I'm gonna ride with the home team. TSU. I'm gonna take the spread minus the 3.5. If you look at their record, a lot of their losses came early in the year when they were playing. They lost to St. Mary, they lost to Oregon, they lost to Washington. I think they only lost by like 6 or 7 to Washington. Tough loss to NC State. 1 point loss to another D1 school. So, but when it came to conference play, it pretty much dominated their conference. I don't want to say dominated, maybe that's a strong word, but that's where the bulk of their losses came from. I think they only lost like 3 or 4 games in conference. They only won 8 out of their last 10 games, 3-0 in neutral site games, and Walker, he's their leading scorer. He averages pretty much 10 points a game. They hang their hat on defense. Last 3 games, they held their opponents to under 65 points a game. I'm gonna rock with the yard here, minus 3. I don't know a lot about Texas A&M. Most of the stuff I just heard listening to you, honestly. But the numbers to me tell me Texas Southern minus the 3.5. And that's where I'm going to go. And I honestly, even though I don't know much about Texas A&M, I do feel confident in this minus 3.5.
All right. Yeah, I've actually caught. I went to the yard, so I've been following TSU for a minute. We've been playing good. We've been uptrending for the last couple of years, and and I've been telling people this team for the last 2 years they are a gritty team. They all grind. They do play physical. They're just trying to get caught up, with everybody else as far as the recruits. But when I saw the game against Florida, when they were just dominating them on the first half and the second half, I jumped on the money line. The money line was big, and I did that when they were up like about 14 in the first half. And like I said, they are an athletic squad. Don't get me wrong. We do got talent, a lot of hidden talent here in the Houston area and in the state of Texas, that if they can't get into a major deep Division I program, then they are settling for Texas Southern, especially if they're coming out of the Houston area. We're underrated with our ballers as far as our high school ballers here in the city. But with everything that I've seen from Texas Southern University and everything that I have not seen about Texas A&M, I am a little scared about their record against SWAC opponents, but I'm going to ride with TSU because I've seen these guys play. I've seen the grit that they got. and they're trying to get into the big dance to get some of that money for the program, for the athletic department. So give me TSU on the 3.5 for the first play-in game. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. This is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets. Thank you for everybody for getting us over 1,000 subscribers. We appreciate that. Now be sure to go follow us on Twitter and on IG and on our Facebook page. That is our record. We're just 3 games away combined from the 100 marks, and we got to get our locks up. We kind of slowed down on our locks. A lot of Big Ten locks went the crazy way. So we're battling back, man. So we appreciate y'all tuning in. Now, this is a game right here that I'm gonna be glued in. I think it's gonna be a pretty great game, a pretty good, interesting game. We're talking about Indiana, the team that could have won the Big Ten, taking on Wyoming, a team that could have won their respective conference. This is a 9:10 Eastern Standard Time game. Which is the second playing game of the tournament. It's also going down in the Dayton Arena. The Indiana Hoosiers 20-13 on the year, 19-14 against the spread, taking on the Wyoming Cowboys, who are 25-8 on the year, 17-13-2 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Indiana -4. There hasn't been any movement, and the total opened up at 132. Right now, that line is at 132.5, so a little bit of money coming in. Injury reports right now. Geronimo, he is questionable for this game for Indiana, as well as Lander. He's questionable as well. Well, Geronimo's actually probable, and Lander he's questionable. While for Wyoming, Winslow, he left the last game, so he is questionable for this game against Indiana. We all know Foster, he's been out for the majority of the season. Last time we seen Indiana, they lost in the semifinals to Iowa 80-77, a game which they led all the way up to about the three-minute mark of that game. And the last time we seen Wyoming, they lost in the semifinals against Boise State 68-61. Get to these actual factuals for Indiana. Indiana 6-1 against spread in the last 7 games. The overs hit 7 out of the last 10. They are 4-8 straight up in the last 12 games. 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games this season. 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games against a Mountain West Conference opponent. The total has gone under 6 out of the last 8 games in the month of March. They're 2-6 straight up in the last 8 games on a Tuesday. And the overs hit 7 out of the last 9 games when playing as a favorite. Wyoming, they are 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games. They are 14-6 straight up in the last 20 games. 3-6 against the spread in the last 9 games this season. 8-3, against the spread in the last 11 games played in the month of March. 1-8 straight up in the last 9 games on a Tuesday. 1-4 straight up in the last 5 games when playing as an underdog. So Wyoming taking on Indiana. Marley, what is your play, my G?
You know how I feel about Wyoming, dog. I like the little Cowboy team. I kind of been keeping up with them a little bit this season. They didn't play a lot of, they come from the Mountain West, so I guess it's D1, but they didn't play a lot of major big time the Power 5 conference schools. When they did play up, for the most part, they lost. They played Stanford, got blown out by Arizona, lost to Stanford. They beat Washington, but that was early in the year. I like Indiana -4, man. I'm gonna make it simple. They just got the better talent. I know it's madness time, upset Central, upset City, but not today. And like you said, Indiana should have won a Big Ten. They got a taste of almost getting in. I think they still want to get in. I think we're going to get the best version of Indiana versus. I don't think they're going to sleep on this Wyoming team either, because I think they're trying to get in. So I'm gonna rock with Jackson Davis, 18 points a game, leading score, 8.2 rebounds a game, leading the rebounds. I like Graham Ike for Wyoming. He's 19.6 points, pretty much 20 points, and he pretty much a walking double-double, 19 points and 9 rebounds. I just don't think they got enough to compete with the Big Ten, even though the Big Ten has let us down time and time again, Coach. I'm going to ride with them one more time. I think 4 is just not enough points. I think it might start out close. I think late might slip away. I like Indiana -4. I just think it's too much talent.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. This is, in fact, going to be my lock of tomorrow, lock of the day, excuse me, because the way we're going to cut this up. I like Indiana minus the 4 for this game, and I like as a lock play, and I like them to win the first half, to cover the first half by -2. So you said pretty much everything I needed to hear. This Wyoming team, they during the middle of the season they were streaking. They started off hot in the beginning of the season, but towards the end they are definitely trending down, my guy. And I'm not a big fan of that. And y'all all know my motto: when a team's trending up, take a team that's go take them versus a team that's trending down. And right now, Indiana was trending up. Again, they had a chance to go to the Big Ten championship game, and they probably could have won that. They led the game. They led the game comfortably against the current Big Ten champions, Iowa. You know, they started the game on fire, 15-3 in the first quarter, and then
fucking blew our money line win.
And then Martin, he just went crazy. You know, he hit 4 threes in a row to get it back up to like 15-12, something like that. And you know, the rest is history. They ended up winning the game. So I didn't actually watch the last 4 minutes because I thought it was locked in. I came back and watched the last 2 minutes, and I was like, "What the hell is going on?" So, but anywho, lock of the day for me. I do like Indiana minus the 4 is a lock, but I do like them first half -2. Could be at 2.5. So jump on it and let's get this money. Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. That is Marley Bets. We are Brothas N Bets. We're almost to our 100 mark. It's a combined record. So it's madness time. We ready to get it in. And let's go to our plays, our Wednesday playing games. Excuse me. The Wednesday playing games, and our first playing game is going to be Wright State. Hold on one second. Wright State taking on the Bryant Bulldogs. The Bulldogs are 22-9 on the year, 17-13 against the spread, while the Wright State Raiders are 21-13 on the year, 15-18 against the spread. This game is going down at 6:40 Eastern Standard Time in the Dayton Arena. This line opened up in favor of Wright State -2. Right now, that line's at -3.5. And the total opened up at 152. Right now, that line's at 154.5. There are some 155s out there as well. Let's check out these injury reports right now. Neither team has any injury reports reported. Last time we seen Bryant, they won their respective conference championships 70-43, where Wright State won theirs in a close one. 72-71 against Northern Kentucky. Get to these actual factuals for Bryant. They are 12-4 against the spread in the last 16 games. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5 games. They are 7-0 straight up last 7 games. 16-1 straight up in the last 17 games. 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 games in the month of March. 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games on a Wednesday. They are the overs hit 8 out of the last 12 games when playing as an underdog. And they are 0-5 against spread in the last 5 games when playing on the road, but it is a neutral site, so that really doesn't matter. Wright State's actual factuals, they are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. The over 6 out of the last 8. They are 5-0 straight up in the last 5 games, 6-1 straight up in the last 7 games this season. The total has also gone over 5 out of the last 7 games in the month of March. The overs also hit 12 out of the last 16 when playing on a Wednesday. They're 4-1 straight up in the last 5 games when playing as a favorite. So Wright State, which is you've been paying close attention to this conference throughout the season, taking on the Bryant Bulldogs. Marley, what is your play? Oh, hold on. My bad. You're muted. Hold on.
I got it. Yeah. Yeah, man, I think it's the Horizon League. That's where Wright State comes from. One of the, it's them, Cleveland State. Who else is in that mix? Oakland, Detroit Mercy. I think Youngstown State. I think that's my little league. Anyway, so yeah, Bryant's another team that I play close attention to, and I like Bryant here, Coach. Plus the points, man. Plus the 3.5. I'm probably gonna sprinkle a tad bit on the money. Peter Kiss, he's the leading scorer for Bryant. 25 points a game. But to me, person you need to pay attention to, Mr. Charles Bryant. He leads the lead team. He's a guard. Leads the team in rebounding, 8 rebounds a game, but he's averaging 18 points a game. So not only is he giving you pretty damn near double digit in rebounds, he's also giving you 18, along with Peter Sims, 25. They got two guys that can pour it up. And this is definitely going to be a high scoring game. The over is something I would pay attention to, even though it's really high at 154. But I like Brian here plus the 3. This is a team that can really shoot it. I don't know if you remember last year, Coach. I was on them too. I was on them and Winthrop a lot last year. But I like Bryant plus the 3.5.
You like Bryant plus the 3.5?
Yeah. Boys, but
yeah, I don't have a play for this one, my boy. But if I were to make a lean, I definitely would lean towards Bryant with the points. But since I don't have a play for that one, I am going to pass, my boy. So good luck to you on that one. So, I'm sorry. I need to write this down. So you like Bryant with the points, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna sprinkle a little bit of crack for the
for that, but it's gonna be a tight game though.
It'll be an interesting game. It's going. My attention is going to be on a lot of NIT games. I'm probably going to do a short on some NIT plays I see for tomorrow. Get back on that while I'm back in town. So, hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. This is Marley Bits. And now let's get ready to cover our last play-in game for the tournament before the big shebanga bang goes down. And this is also going down in the Dayton Arena at 9:10 Eastern Standard Time on March 16th, this Wednesday. Notre Dame Fighting Irish out of the ACC. They're sitting at 22-10 on the year, 17-15 against the spread, while the Rutgers Scarlet Knights are 18-13 on the year, 14-17 against the spread. This line opened up in favor of Notre Dame -1. That line has not moved. And the total opened up at 132, and that line hasn't moved as well. Injury reports right now, we know Notre Dame Taylor, he is out, and definitely for academics. And Agee, he's been out for personal reasons. During the tournament, Notre Dame lost to Virginia Tech, the ACC champions, 87-80. While the Rutgers, they lost to the Big Ten champions, 84-74 versus Iowa. Get to these actual factors. Notre Dame, they are 14-6 against the spread in the last 20 games. The overs hit 7 out of the last 8. They are 15-5 straight up in the last 20 games. 4-13 against the spread in the last 17 games against Rutgers. 9-2 straight up in the last 11 games against Rutgers. The overs hit 4 out of the last 5 games this season. They're 0-7 straight up in the last 7 games against a Big Ten conference opponent. The overs also hit 6 out of the last 7 games played in the month of March. 8-1 straight up in the last 9 games played on a Wednesday. Rutgers, actual factors, they are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. The unders hit 4 out of the last 5. They are 2-4 straight up in the last 6 games. The unders also hit 6 out of the last 9 games against Notre Dame. The unders also hit 5 out of the last 7. They are 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games against an ACC conference opponent. 6-1 straight up in the last 9 games on a Wednesday. They are 9-2 against the spread when playing as an underdog in the last 11 games. So, our last playing game, Notre Dame taking on Rutgers. Marley, what's your play?
I'm on the Fighting Irish, man. I like this Rutgers team. I've been following them for like the last 2 years. Around Harper Jr., 15 points a game. They're a really tough-minded team. They play good defense, but I think toward like the middle end of the season, they kind of hit a stride, and then toward the end of the season, they just weren't playing the best basketball. I don't know if they ran out of gas. Notre Dame's kind of been Notre Dame the whole season. They've been kind of like in the middle. They haven't been really hot, but they haven't been really cold. I think they're the better team. They can drop the ball in the bucket. You got Wesley. He's the leading scorer, 14.5 points a game. I just think Notre Dame is the better team, and they're definitely the more consistent team. That's one problem I do have with Rutgers. They're so hot and so cold. You don't never know really what you're going to get with them. Whereas I think Notre Dame, kind of 22-10 on the season. Like I said, I think they've been fairly steady. They lost to the eventual champs. They 7-3 in their last 10 games, and 5-1 as the favorite. 6-4 ATS. So I'm going to go with Notre Dame here. I would lean over if we're talking about the total. Notre Dame tend to score a lot of points. But just for the victory here, I'm gonna take Notre Dame on the money line. I'm not
On the
fucking
money
with
line.
Yeah, and we're not doing no -1. I'm not fucking with that shit.
All right, Marley likes Notre Dame on the money line. I'm gonna have to go the other way, bro. And
Going with
the only
Rutgers.
reason is because every time I have betted against Rutgers, I have got my ass popped. But it's primarily been when they were at the home, when they're at the crib.
So let me say this.
Go ahead.
Notre Dame is my lock of the day.
Okay. All right. Let me put Notre Dame as the lock of the day. So he's trying to flex. I love when Marley flexes on.
I know that. That's why I wanted to give you confidence. That's why I did that. I wanted to give you confidence.
Yeah,
You like when I'm talking shit. And Notre Dame not my team. I actually hate Notre Dame.
I know. I was surprising, but I
Yeah.
love it.
I'm not a believer in Rutgers.
And that's how you sound just like me for majority of the season. I sounded just like first thought was Rutgers, but I think Notre Dame easy. Yeah, I mean, we gonna
I agree
see.
with you.
I'm not betting against Rutgers anymore. Not in these type of games. When they start playing some dogs, I mean, even then they like to play up. They're a real grind out team, man.
Notre Dame when I think Notre Dame basketball team this season, I just think it's
fundamental.
Yep.
Fundamental,
and consistency, but just consistency. They're going to be. They're like
go ahead. Let's get the third pass in.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I even like I said, you got Wesley, you got Addison Jr. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He damn near a walking double senior, 12.7 rebounds. I just feel like they're the better team. Rutgers may be the more tougher team, maybe even more defensive-minded, physical team, but I just think talent-wise, Notre Dame is the better overall team when it comes to talent. I agree with Will, though. I agree exactly what Will said. First thought, because when I first saw the matchup, I was like, okay, Rutgers. But once I looked at it, I was like, I think I like Notre Dame, and I think it should be fairly easy.
Yeah, well, every time I betted against Notre Dame, I've won. So, and every time I bet against Rutgers, I lost. So I'm gonna stick to what's been working and obviously, and I'm gonna ride with Rutgers on this one, man. So this is a good way to start off the show that the Big Ten is very competitive, which is one of the reasons why we struggled towards the tail end of the season with that.
I think they was just trying to get niggas in the tournament and they was fucking us.
Yeah, well, here's a chance. Here's a chance now. So
we about to see.
Hey, we appreciate everybody tuning in. I am the coach. This is Marley Bets. We will be cutting up these videos and kind of do a real quick recap of our plays. Marley likes TSU minus the 3.5. He likes Indiana -4. Bryant plus the 4, and his lock of the playing games is Notre Dame.
I'm gonna do another lock.
What you got?
Well, you already made it a lock, huh? So it kind of don't matter if we both make it a lock. So never mind. I just thought about it.
All right. And so
you got Indiana -4 as your lock, right? Yeah.
Correct. So I got 4 plays. I didn't have a plan at right and Bryant game. If I were to lean towards it, I'll take Bryant. But I'm going with the yard -3.5. I like Indiana first half -2. I like Rutgers lock of the day full game -4. And I'm going to take Rutgers money line. So those are my plays. We appreciate everybody tuning in. Let's go to open mic. If anybody got any games they want to talk about, it could be early tournament games. It could be NIT games. I'm going to tell you off jump a couple of NIT games that just jumped off to the radar for me.
Oh, I know some of them already.
I haven't done too much research, but I just know, like, looking at it, I do like that Vanderbilt -4 with little Pippen versus Belmont. I love the hell out of that.
I don't know nothing about that one. I ain't gonna lie.
I've actually betted on both teams and betted against them, so I do like that. I like that Oklahoma versus
Belmont
Missouri
can
State.
hoop though.
Yeah, so can Vandy. I mean, they were just in Vandy in that Belmont conference. They go undefeated for shit show.
Hey, I might take that Missouri State +6. Missouri State.
Yeah, OU, they're just all over the place. If anything, I'll take OU. I'll take OU -3. But how motivated is OU going to be playing?
Right.
So
exactly.
that's also what you got to think about in these NIT games. Like even Virginia Commonwealth, how motivated are they going to be against Princeton?
Right. Hey, let me ask you this: can Cleveland State pop Xavier in the NIT?
Wait a minute, real quick. A&M didn't make the tournament. They got to play out. They made NIT.
They made the NIT. Yeah.
Wow. Are they going to be motivated against Alcorn? Anyway, that line's at 20. They might cover that. Would you say?
Can Cleveland State pop Xavier?
No, I don't think so. I don't know. I wouldn't bet it. I think Wazoo can pop Santa Clara, and I think Colorado can pop St. Bonaventure. But that St. Bonaventure team is a senior-led team. But again, it's going to be who's going to be motivated for that. Because St. Bonnie's.
Colorado favorites, so they're not popping them.
Yeah. I like Colorado on that one. I think St. Bonnie ain't. I don't know how motivated are they going to be. Are they going to be like, look, we all seniors, this our last time playing. Let's ball out when the NIT is and call it a day.
Right.
This Dayton versus Toledo, that's going to be a good one.
What's that on Wednesday?
Must be on Wednesday. Now we talking about Wednesday action.
Let me go to Wednesday. I haven't even looked at Wednesday. Oh, yes, I did. Oh, Youngstown State. I'm all over that. What is
it doesn't even show the line for that one yet.
I know.
You got UVA versus Mississippi State. I think I like UVA in that one.
Kent State in Southern Utah. That's gonna be a tough game.
That Townsend versus Wake +8.
Ooh, I just see it. Townsend versus Wake. I might take Townsend plus the 8. Wake is not. I don't. Wake's.
They can kind of hoop.
Dayton and Toledo. Hey, Toledo can hoop. Oh, they got Toledo the favorite, of course.
Toledo can hoop. Dayton can hoop too.
Virginia,
but Dayton just.
They got that
one. Dayton star player got hurt in the last game, so.
Hey, St. Louis -4. That should be money. Long Beach. St. Louis -4. I think that should be good. Over Northern Iowa. I think that should be good. Florida and Iona. I don't know how motivated Florida is. That kind of scares me. Long Beach State and BYU is interesting. I wonder if they can pop BYU. I don't know how good BYU is. I haven't really watched them. Man, Coach, how you feel about baseball? I'm not gonna lie, I'm happy. Baseball is gonna be.
Man, it's a whole lot of trades and stuff going on, which makes me wonder with all this stuff going on underneath. Were they all planned out before?
I don't know, but I'm ready for baseball. Basketball is about to pick up. I got my boy Chris gonna start doing the show with me next week.
I'm just upset that we may be losing Correa, like I said we would be losing Correa.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna Correa trying to get like 300-400 mil, man.
And he gonna end up going to the the Yankees, like I said. Real quick
Philly lost. Philly did lose.
Yeah, Denver came back. I was watching that game before we started.
Fourth quarter meltdown. What Harden do? I can't wait till. I'm not gonna say I can't wait, but I want to see how Philly gonna respond. It was all glory when that boy was shining. When big games come around, though, boy, is non-existent. I
Let me
watched the
see.
nigga fail in the playoffs over and over and over.
So, just first glance, let's kind of go through some of these. We're gonna do a show. We're definitely gonna do a show.
God, the king.
But let's look at some of these March Madness matchups because I really didn't get to look at the bracket. I've been so
Let's
busy.
do that. Let's do that. I need to do my work. I'm gonna do that all
They
tomorrow.
got Michigan. They got Michigan -2.5 versus Colorado State. I'm going in orders. Providence -2 versus San Diego, South Dakota State. That's the one that Graylo said he's going all in on Providence. Memphis -2.5 versus Boise State. That's going to be a great game.
Who? Memphis and who?
Memphis and Boise State.
I got Memphis.
That's going to be a good game.
I want to say I got Memphis easy money. Memphis. I don't think they should be able to. I think they should be able to dog Memphis State. I'm looking at now Gonzaga, Georgia State, Memphis, UConn. Ooh, Arkansas.
They got Baylor -21 versus Norfolk State, Tennessee -17 versus Longwood. Longwood can kind of hoop. Iowa -10.5 versus Richmond. Gonzaga -23.5 versus Georgia State. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. North Carolina -3 versus Marquette. I like Marquette.
I like North Carolina.
Kevin, you want to join in? Let's see if we can drop the link. I love to hear some of what the people want to say. Kevin, just don't be coming on here with no titties or nothing like that. So,
hey, this
don't
text
do
is in your tech. I kind of like that.
Don't do us. I guess. Do I drop the link in the description? Okay, there's the link right there, my boy. There's the link. If anybody watching want to come in, there's the link.
You better screen these callers. You better screen these callers.
Yeah. No titties and nothing showing. Let's see. Where'd I leave off at? UConn -7 versus New Mexico State. Hey, New Mexico State can hoop. They can hoop, man.
They're not gonna be UConn.
They got Kentucky -18 versus St. Peter's. San Diego State -2.5 versus Creighton. I don't know about that one, Will. That Creighton can hoop, man.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be tough.
Arkansas -5 versus Vermont. I like that, especially first half. I don't know about first half, but I like that Arkansas -5. Oh,
Hey,
this gonna be a good one.
Vermont can hoop though, but I do like.
So can Arkansas. Murray State versus San Francisco.
That's tough.
Murray State -1.5. UCLA -14 versus Akron. Ooh, look at this one. Ohio State is a pick versus Loyola Chicago.
What that tell? Hey, y'all looking ball.
Yeah, they can. Auburn -15.5 versus Jackson State. Texas Tech -15 versus Montana State. See, I haven't seen any of these lines, bro. So I'm reading them out as the first time I've seen them, and we're gonna break down either most likely Wednesday. Purdue -15 versus Yale. We got Villanova versus Delaware. Villanova -15.5 versus Delaware. Let's see. It's basically a home game for Ohio State. I really like them. I'm going in on them. All right. Well, we got our first guest that we allowed to Zoom call in. So we don't know how this one gonna go, people. So bear with us. We got your boy Cam. Cam, appreciate you joining us. What's going down, my G?
Yo. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's the word? Welcome to Brothas N Bets. Where you calling from? Or where you zooming from? Hello? Your mic? You got about 30 seconds, my boy. All right. So he did God's work. USC -1.5 versus Miami, Florida. That's a good one. Hell, that would
USC,
have been
Miami. I think I like USC.
a live game back in 2003, 2004 in college football. Texas -1 versus Virginia Tech. Um, I ain't gonna lie, bro.
I like
Tech can
Virginia Tech.
shoot.
Tech
Tech.
cannot shoot. Dog.
What you mean? Outside that arc, they can shoot, my boy. How many
Oh, wait,
games
who
you just
did you
see?
say? You said Tech or Texas? Because I thought
Virginia
Texas.
Tech.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking you talk about Texas. Excuse me. Yes, I like Virginia Tech in that game. Yes.
Cam, what's going on, man?
Yo, my bad. Kind of clicked out of it. Had to reset that shit.
Nah, you good. You good. Speak. Where you calling from? What part of the country you on?
I'm in AZ right now for college.
Oh, okay. University of Arizona or you at Arizona State? Which one?
Arizona State.
Okay.
St.
Okay.
Louis.
All right.
But I'm a UConn fan.
Okay.
I got them going all the way.
You
I didn't mean to laugh. You a Hurley fan? What's the coach name?
Dan Hurley.
Yeah. He's a character, man. So tell us why you got them going all the way. What makes you think that? Enlighten us, bro. Enlighten us.
They're starting off hot. They got a good center in himself, Sonogo. He can control the paint,
Yeah.
get the offensive boards. They score 42% of their points off the offensive rebounds, which I think would come in huge, getting those second chance points. And then they got a sniper off the bench in Tyler Pauly. He can come down, hit that bit from anywhere.
And who's their first game against? Their starter.
New
I know it's
Mexico
7
State.
points. New Mexico State. Yeah. Have you seen New Mexico State play this year?
I have not, but I trust my UConn.
I agree
Fun,
with They get past New Mexico State.
fun fact about UConn: when they played in the West, they have made it to the Final Four five out of the 6 times they made it in the West bracket.
Okay.
I think they could do it
know
again.
if they get to the Final Four. So they play Arkansas if Arkansas beats Vermont in the second round of the tourney. That'll be a tough game for them. I think.
UConn was my squad in the beginning of the year for sure. I was
I remember
riding with
you
them. Then they started-
abandoned ship.
Yeah, they started losing a couple of games midway, but then they started catching fire towards the end.
They were losing games because there were 2 other, like Sonogo, he was out for 3
Right.
games, one against
Right,
Providence, which we only lost by 4 against them, which I think if we had Sonogo, we win that game.
What you call has
Okay.
been out too? A cook, right?
Yeah. And for the tournament, Hawkins was out too, so our only player off the bench was Tyler Pauly, so we were running a 6-man and nearly beat Nova. One bad call changed the game.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And we got to give it to you got to give it to UConn too, because when Hurley got kicked out early in the first half, before the tournament play, conference tournament play, they still managed to win that game easily. It got kind of close, but they pulled away with it. Which shows that they do have some discipline, and they are a well coached team. So, where do we leave off? Illinois -7.5 versus Chattanooga, and feel free, Cam, to jump in if you hear anything that you may like with these games.
Are we
Duke
just going
minus-
down the list?
Yeah, because I haven't seen any of these picks. This is my first glance at who's playing who, besides some of the favorites that I
Have you guys had any big upsets yet?
as far as upsets that we've picked, or just for the brackets.
That you
For the
guys seen and
bracket?
picked? Because right now, my biggest upset is 14 Colgate beating Wisconsin.
Ooh.
Enlighten us.
Colgate, it's a team-based team over there, best 3-point shooting team in the nation, and then you got Wisconsin coming over. They're not the best defensively at guarding the 3-point line, that's what Colgate does. They shoot over 40% from 3, and so I feel like that'd be the perfect upset. Right out of all 68 teams in this field, Wisconsin ranks 57 at defending the 3-point line.
Huh. So Wisconsin's a -7.5 favorite right now. The total for that is 139. Have to check that out. Now you got me looking for some upset picks. I have to look back because I was gonna say
I like Virginia Tech over Texas. I don't know if you consider it a big upset. I mean, it's 11 over a 6 seed. I'm not the biggest fan of Texas. Can't really score the ball. We kind of talked about this already, right? I think you went over this game, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't think Texas can score. They're great defensively, but when it comes to offense and putting the ball in the basket, I just don't think they're on the same level as Virginia Tech. Like you said earlier, Virginia Tech can really shoot the ball particularly well. And I've been dogging Texas all year, so I mean, at the end of the day, I just don't think they're a very good basketball team. I think they go home early.
That's how I feel about Texas Tech.
Really?
Not people. Great defense, but I feel like if they play against Alabama in the second round, I think if it comes down to a close game, Alabama is able to make the shots and Texas Tech doesn't.
I agree with that. Great defense, but I think their offense is a little bit better than Texas is. Because I think they at least have a guy they can go to. I don't think Texas, like Allen, I don't think he's a go-to guy when the ball when it's. But I do agree with you. Bama is a tough matchup for them because Bama can fucking score and they're gonna run.
I kind of got a upset that I wouldn't be surprised, but again, I could be too biased. But UAB got a cat by the name of Jordan Walker, who is leading the country in threes. He is the truth. The only issue with that is if he sits down and take a foul trouble, they really don't have too many people around him. And this UH team, you know.
Oh, they're playing Houston. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. I would say if there was a underdog, I would not be surprised because that dude can hoop, man. Like I was a believer. I took them in their conference championship, easy money. I put $1,100 to win $1,000 on them for that game. So it's gonna be tough, but I would say if I see any just glancing. A big underdog, I wouldn't be surprised on that. If he catches fire, then the rest of the dudes will catch on fire too. We got Iowa State taking on LSU -4, Davidson +1 versus Michigan State. We already went to Colgate. Seton Hall -1 versus TCU. I like TCU in that one. Just looking at it. Drake -10 versus IPFW. We got Stephen F. Austin -6.5 versus NC Asheville.
You must be on
UWager right now. Shout out to our sponsor, U. No. Oh, are these NIT games too? I was about to say some. Okay, some that does make sense.
Let me ask y'all this because I got to get ready to get out of here. Who y'all got in the Final Four?
Final Four this year. I'm gonna let Cam let our guest go. Cam, who you got?
I got UConn coming out of the West.
Of course.
I got Purdue coming out of the East or Baylor. It's gonna come down, but I haven't decided on that yet. And then I got Nova coming out of the South. I want my revenge against them. And then Midwest, I got Iowa.
From Nova, Iowa, UConn, and who was it again?
It's Purdue or Baylor. I haven't made my mind up yet on those two. They're my Elite Eight. Still trying to figure out.
Marley, what you got?
I'm looking. I'm thinking.
That West is stacked, man.
Man, I was thinking. I think. I want to say Gonzaga.
Coming out of the West?
Yeah.
Who's Gonzaga's hardest opponent for you coming out of the West?
Who is?
Yeah, who would you say would give them the most trouble?
I would say either your Huskies or Arkansas.
Arkansas got a hard match. They got a hard 13 seed to play for round one.
I told you that earlier, Coach. Vermont is tough.
That's a tough win. I like Arkansas a lot, but I think Vermont could be a low-key like an 8-9 seed.
I agree. I think they still get out, though. I think the talent carries them through. But, yeah.
Man, this West is stacked, man.
Out the East, see, I I'm not a fan. You know how I feel about the Pac-12, and they got Arizona #1, and I want to say I think Illinois can come out the East. I'm not a
That's
fan. I
South.
don't think. Oh, I'm sorry. Where am I?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
tripping. I'm tripping. I am in the South. I'm too fast. UCLA, Akron, Baylor, Duke. Yeah, I think I like Baylor
Out of the East?
out of the West. Isn't that the West? Is that the East or the
No, that's
West?
the
No.
That's
East.
the
I
East.
know.
East. I like Baylor in the East, and I think I like Illinois in the South.
I like Illinois too in the South.
Um,
They're him and Nova are those two are my Elite Eight.
and I think I'm gonna go with your boys, Coach, or your former boys. Did you get off Auburn?
Nah, I still riding with Auburn. I still like them. They
If you want to
been
pick a 15
inconsistent.
seed, Jacksonville could be that team.
You think so?
I was
Jacksonville
thinking that
State?
too.
I don't think
Their
they.
only problem
Auburn.
is their size. They run 4 people less than 6'3" tall on the court. That could be the issue.
They're gonna get killed.
And Auburn could shoot themselves out of the fucking game,
They're
man.
too
So,
inefficient. I really don't think Auburn makes it past Sweet 16. I'm hoping Colgate gets Auburn instead of USC in the third round. I have Colgate going to the Elite Eight.
Really?
honestly, man, I
I'm not.
think
I don't know too much about Colgate. You're gonna make me. I'm gonna have to go look into them though.
All 5 of their shooters shoot over 40% from 3, so
Hmm.
they could spread the floor. I feel like if they were in like the Big East, they'd be in the Creighton Seton Hall talk. That's
I'm
where they
not
would
gonna
be.
lie. That Gonzaga is for the West. It's gonna come down to, in my opinion, it's gonna come down to Gonzaga and Texas Tech. To be honest,
I
that's
like
my
Tech.
opinion.
Tech just can't score. I don't know how much they're gonna be able to score. That's
for the
the thing that scares me about Tech.
for the East. I can see UCLA winning that.
Really?
Yeah, I can see
Wait, you said
UCLA.
UCLA?
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
East, Baylor's just not that strong of a
I
dog
think
anymore.
UCLA got overseeded.
I do
Their
too.
conference is weak, and then they lost to
Oh,
like
thank
teams like
you.
ASU, which is like that's a
No, but
tough route.
that's your squad. But you got to think, young man. Around that time, playing ASU at the crib around that week, they were one of the hottest home
I
teams
think
at that
that
time.
conference is trash,
Yeah,
man.
he's not a fan of that conference. For the South, it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down to Arizona, Houston, in my opinion. I think if Illinois plays Houston in that next round, Houston will beat Illinois, man.
Really,
Coming
you
out of the
think so?
South. Yeah, Illinois is too inconsistent in my opinion. For that Midwest, Kansas, you got Kansas.
You know who I like as a my bad. Go ahead, pick your last team. I'm gonna tell you who I like as a sleeper in that
Who you
South.
like?
Tennessee. They've been hot.
They are hot. But are they at their peak, or are they just going up from here?
I don't know, but they're playing damn good basketball right now. I don't know if they're at their peak, but right before the SEC tournament, not just during the SEC tournament, about a week or so before this tournament, they caught fire, and they've just been playing phenomenal basketball. And they're like that South. To me, the South is like the most wide open.
For me, that Midwest, man, I'm looking at all of these teams. Of course, you got Kansas leading the pack,
There's so much
and
upsets that can
Auburn and
happen
number.
in the Midwest.
Man, Martin and those Iowa Hawkeyes are hot, bro. Like at one point of the season, they were leading that division, with 80 plus points a game, and then they just started after that loss against fucking Rutgers. They kind of went on their streak, but man, Martin's turning it up, bro. When I seen him when Indiana went up 15-3 and he hit 4 threes in a row to put them back in the game, I was like, yo, they legit, So
That man
I don't know, man.
different.
Yeah,
Reminds me of
I
like a
was
Carson
probably gonna be
Edwards. You guys remember that run when he came in?
Yeah, no, I remember that. Iowa is
Averaging
my
40
sleeper.
points.
That is my sleeper.
Your sleeper?
Yeah, that's my sleeper. Iowa. I like what I saw out of them. Hey man, we appreciate everybody tuning in. We got to get going. We about to hit our hour mark. Hey, guests we allowed to come on, just spare the moment like that with no prep. So we appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you subscribe and hopefully, yeah. Hopefully you can catch us again, man, and come back on, man. We got
hopefully I got you subscribed. I put notice on, so whenever you guys go live again, I'll see if I can join back up.
For sure.
All right,
for sure.
Well, we appreciate you. And Marley, if you want to lead us in our prayer, we can get out of here.
As always, y'all know what it is. Same thing we trying to do every day. We trying to do today. Oh, excuse me. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. This is Brothas N Bets. I am Marley Bets. That is the coach. That's a special guest, homeboy Cam. Like always, like every day, man, we know what we trying to do, and that is let's beat Vegas. And we out this motherfucker.
Check it out. Look, we from the bottom, ain't no problems, we gon' make a way. Got no coach on the field, but we making plays. Hey,